Among other issues, the senior advocate of Nigeria was emphatic about the non-release of discharge certificates to the ex-soldiers who served 10 years in jail as commuted sentence after being on death row for refusing to fight terrorist organization Boko Haram, citing unmatched weaponry.
The military said, Mr. Falana, please, for one reason or the other, we didn't want to encourage this kind of conduct. We wouldn't want to take them back, but can you please persuade them to be paid off? Okay, we discussed with our client and said, why not? Give us our discharge certificates so that we can, go back to the society. We have been in that battle for over 2 years. No explanation has been offered. No reason has been adduced. Up to now, they have not been given their discharge certificate so that they can work elsewhere.
The Army headquarters responded swiftly and invited them to Abuja for some documentation and paperwork. Army headquarters went further to pay each individual 200,000 naira as a form of severance package, which the ex-soldiers call packing allowance. The disengaged soldiers are grateful to the new army hierarchy for listening to their cry in a matter that has lingered for 3 years. However, not all prayers have been answered, as explained in separate interviews conducted a few months ago.
I wanted to join a security company, but when I go there, I told them I am a military personnel. They asked me, where's your discharge certificate? So for that, I couldn't get the job.
As we are now, we cannot even secure a better job anywhere. Wherever you go, they request for your discharge certificate. And at this time, we are still here. We couldn't get our benefit. Our children cannot go to school.
We are still appealing to our own president, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, to help us intervene in this matter and meet with the Nigerian army or invite them on this matter. Let the needful be done to us.
In 2022, the ex-army personnel obtained a pardon from the Nigerian Council of State, but that's 3 years ago, and they are yet to receive their discharge certificates. But here's the juxtaposition. In the past, the army may have turned a blind eye to the predicaments and sufferings of these 70 battle-tested Nigerians. But the present hierarchy, led by Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, must be commended for the swift response and the payment of parking allowances. One thing remains, however, to be done: the release of their discharge certificates to help them in the search for jobs and to be gainfully employed in a period of harsh economic realities in present-day Nigeria. Ofieteme George, Arise News.
Well, thank you so much for that update, Ofieteme George, and we do look forward to a more solid conclusion of this issue. These soldiers have been on this case for some time now. Fine.
Okay, I thought...
Oh, should we start? Sorry, let's start with...
So, if you get your discharge certificate, what opportunities are open for ex-military folk in the labor force, right? It's, usually security jobs and things of that nature. It's good that they've said that the present hierarchy in the military is listening to their cries, since this is something that's been going on for quite a while. But this again, and again, shout out to Ofieteme George, our award-winning correspondent. He puts forward some of the best stories that we look into. Yeah, they have to get the discharge certificates, but the thing is, where are they going to work? So this brings up the issue of the labor market in Nigeria and being able to provide opportunities for these folks. Where can they work? Where can they be gainfully employed after all this time that's been lost with them not being able to get those certificates? So that's what was that allowance they're talking about? The parking allowance. Yeah, I mean, they got to do better than that. These people that serve us, risk their lives for us. They need health care. when they get out of service in the military. They need to be able to take care of their families. There's pensions that they are owed, and they also need jobs, which is why we have to have a conversation around skills developing in Nigeria, because this is something that happens elsewhere. If you think about veterans in the United States that can't find work and so on and so forth. So it's a great investigative report there from Temi George, and it's important that the new hierarchy in the military does listen to them. And this is where you get into budgets and being able to fund these type of things in order for them to have, you know, meaningful lives after they leave service.
All right. Any thoughts on the inauguration of the access to
the road? Okay, so look, while we were in Abidjan for the Africa CEO Forum that Arise News covered, I did a sit-down interview with the CEO of the Lagos Free Trade, the LFC, Lagos Free Trade Zone, and she mentioned the infrastructure development around that area, which is home to a lot of corporations that are going to be expanding businesses out there. And so, I mean, if you link this to the certificate story that we just talked about right now, most of those businesses will need security as they're expanding there. So you could employ some of these people that haven't had their certificates in quite a while. So the point I'm trying to make is that the expansion of infrastructure and new businesses that are operating in the Lagos Free Trade area, this road that's been inaugurated by the president, that essentially is what is going to provide more exports and jobs and so on and so forth.
Okay. So a couple of things. Let me start with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu wishing everybody Barakat Salah. We wish everybody Barakat Salah. You know, Femi's our plug, and she's going to hook us up with something real great. And Rotus, happy Barakat Salah, Vimbai Barakat Salah. But most importantly, he also commiserated with the flood victims in Mokwa, which is very important, you know, to do at this point in time. But I'm also not still satisfied. And I am going to reiterate the point that it is best that President incident so well, because some people died in the Okeafa Canal. And I remember how President Obasanjo was hounded for not visiting on time Lagos. Such a disaster that happened and befell Lagos then. And I remember some of the present dramatic personnel were those that hounded President Olusegun Obasanjo then at the Ikeja cantonment bombing. When a disaster happened, it is incumbent on the president to visit there. You can give Barka the Salam message. You can send your vice presidents and emissaries there. But it is also important for the presidents to be there in flesh and blood. Optics and signaling means a